Right, this is a very old question, so I couldn't find a paper, English, medium paper. So bear with me. So an ice cube of density 900 kilogram meter minus 3 floats on a water of density 1000 kilogram meter minus 3. What would be the volume of the ice cube if it were to support a bird resting on it, as it remains to float on the water without immersing? So this is a quite controversial question, which many people would get wrong by diving directly into equation. But we could solve this question more easily if we understand the fundamental physics behind it. So, first of all, what determines an object would float or sink? So it's buoyancy, right? So there are three types of buoyancy. When the density of the object is less than the density of the fluid it displaces, the object will float because the buoyant force is greater than the object's weight. It is termed as positive buoyancy. And when the density of the object equals the density of the fluid it displaces, the object remains suspended in the fluid because its buoyant force equals the object's weight. It termed as neutral buoyancy. And when the density of the object is greater than the density of the fluid it displaces, the object will sink in the water because its weight is greater than the buoyant force, termed as negative buoyancy. Here you can see that the water's, the ball's density is higher than the, water's density. So here we are convinced about the relationship between the density of the objects and the buoyancy. Yeah. So don't mind about my Tamil because I'm doing classes in both languages. So I'm really sorry for this mess. So if object density is greater than the fluid density, it fully immerses. If the object density is lesser than the fluid, it floats. So that is the thing. That's the concept you have to understand. This is very important thing. Now let's have a look at the data given in our question. So the density of the ice cube is what it was 900 kilogram meter minus 3, and the density of the water is 1000 kilogram meter minus 3. Yeah. So previously we had a quick glance at how floating, sinking, buoyancy and density complements each other. Now let's apply this to our question. Okay. So we got ice floating in the water. In order to make this floating ice cube submerge or sink under the water, its density has to exceed the density of the water. For instance, water is 1000, so ice cube has to be at least 1001 kilogram meter minus 3 to sink. If it is 1000 as an equal to water's density, it is suspended but wouldn't sink. So in order to sink, its density has to be even a point more than 1000 kilogram meter minus 3. Now they have given water and ice. Don't break your head around equation, just think through the lens of this one concept. Here water is 1000 kilogram meter minus 3. 1000 kilogram meter minus 3, and ice is 900 kilogram meter minus 3. 900 kilogram meter minus 3. So now the difference between the object and the fluid is 100 kilogram meter minus 3. In other words, in order to keep the ice float, its density could increase up to further 100 kilogram meter minus 3. And beyond that threshold level, the object would sink. Okay, now we got our birdie resting on this floating ice cube. The bird's weight is 2 kilogram. There is an additional weight of 2 kilogram on the ice cube because of this bird's weight. Alright, but because of the bird, the volume of the ice cube wouldn't expand because the bird is not inside the ice cube, it's rather outside the ice cube. So if it's inside the ice cube, then the volume of this ice cube will be increased and it will break, okay, it will burst. But that's not happening here. So the volume of the ice cube remains same as the bird sits. So only ice cube's weight is affected as the bird sits on it, but not its volume. That's the most important thing. Okay. However, for this question, we don't need the weight or the volume of the ice cube at all. We have been asked to deal with density of ice cube, density of water, weight of the bird. That's it. So for that, we are allowed to raise its density maximum up to 100 kilogram meter minus 3. Using our basic D equal to MOV equation. So 100 kilogram meter minus 3 equal to 2 kilogram. 2 kilogram, that's the weight of the bird. Remember, the 100 kilogram meter minus 3 is not the density of water or ice cube, but rather the maximum density of the ice cube that could raise in order to keep it floating. And the 2 kilogram is the weight of the bird. Now we have mass and the density. Now we have to find the total volume of the ice cube. Now making V the subject. Now V is equal to weight of bird over what's the density? 900 kilogram. Sorry, it's 100 kilogram meter minus 3. 100 kilogram meter minus 3. Now you can get rid of the kg. That gives us 1 over 50 meter cube. So this is the answer. In order to keep the ice floating, the threshold level of 100 kilogram meter minus 3 density could be taken up by an extra 2 kilogram and its volume, and the volume is 1 over 50 meter cube. That is 1 over 50 meter cube. Alright. Now let's have some entertainment. So many equation maniacs out there. How they deal with this question is they use buoyancy force. They use buoyancy force equal to V pro G. That's how they use. Okay, they substitute buoyancy force with mg. In a sense, the upthrust is equal to buoyancy force. Yeah, that sense is correct. Yeah, buoyancy force is equal to mg. Yeah, that's correct. So they write mg equal to v pro g. They substitute the m with dv, density into volume. D equal to MOV, right? MOV. So they now come up with this formula, which is dVg equal to dVg. That's mean pro Vg equal to pro Vg. Same thing. Okay. So density into volume into G equal to volume into pro into G. The same thing. And this is where they make the deadly mistake. They get 2V out of it, assuming they both are the same V. Okay, they are assuming both are the same V. Okay, but the V of the either sides, V of the either side, I'll mark it in a different color. The V of the either side are not the same. They think both volume are the same and somehow come up with the answer that matches the right answer. Answer is correct, but the method is wrong. V over here is the volume of the fluid displaced by the ice cube. V over here, V over here, the total volume of the ice cube. Both are totally different. Volume of the ice cube and the volume of the water displaced by the ice cube will be the same when the ice cube melts only. If it melts only, this will be the same. If the ice cube doesn't melt, then the both volumes are totally different. Totally different. That is totally different. That's why you are seeing a top of the ice cube above the water. You see in the ocean, you see the iceberg, right? The top of the tip, you see that, okay? Below it there is a big amount of, the vast amount of icebergs down there underwater. So the reason is because of the volume. The volume is different than the water. Ice cube and the water both are made up of one, molecule, that is H2O, but their densities are different. Because of their different densities, their volume are different. If the ice cube changes into water, if the ice cube melts into water, then that's fine, then that's completely fine, then it will become water and its volume becomes the water's volume. It will be equal. So students need to understand it very clearly. When the examiner gives you question something like, melting ice, then you have to equal both melting ice volume and the volume of the water displaced by it. But when the examiner gives you, okay, just ice, not about melting and all, then you shouldn't equal both volume. You have to understand this. In this question, it's not melting. Actually, the bird is actually sitting, okay? So it's not actually melting. They haven't given us anything about melting. So you have to understand this. Do you know why you are seeing the tip of the iceberg? Iceberg is also water and sea also the water, right? So why are you seeing that, iceberg is erected, just above the water level, the sea level? Why is that? Because, the density of both iceberg and the water, the sea water, are totally different. Because of their different densities, iceberg's volume is huge because its density is, small, so its volume is huge, and the water's density is larger compared to iceberg's density. So the water displaced by the ice cube, the volume of the water displaced by the ice cube is lesser compared to the ice cube which is, displacing the water, the total volume of the ice cube which is displacing the water. So due to that, issue, the iceberg cannot immerse completely inside. It cannot put its whole volume inside where it displays the seawater, okay? It is unable to fit its size into that, area where the, seawater displaced by this iceberg. So that's why it's struggling. That's why you are seeing a tip of the iceberg, because the iceberg's volume is larger than the volume it displaced, okay, larger than the volume of the water it displaced. So that's why you are seeing the tip of the ice cube is, floating above the water, and you're seeing the tip of the iceberg. So this is the reason. Students have to understand this very clearly, okay? So melting ice is totally different. For melting ice, you can equal, you can match both, its volume and, the waters, the volume of the displaced waters, volume of the displaced water. But if the ice is not melting and both volumes are different, you have to understand this completely. Why this, melting ice, volume, the total volume, and the volume it displaced, the volume of the water displaced by the, ice cube are same, because when the ice melts, it becomes water. Obviously it becomes water. So when it becomes water, its density will increase. So the volume will decrease. Okay, the volume will decrease. Okay, in order to, make this density, bigger, the volume has to shrink. Okay, so that is the mechanism. So when it shrinks, it becomes the water's volume, equal to the water's volume. So after that it will fit inside. So normally when you put an ice cube, like, into the glass, okay, you see there's a glass of water inside, there's an ice cube, so there's a water level, right? There's a rise in water level. When this ice cube melts completely, then the water level will not rise. It will not rise, because all the water, all those water which is, so all the water which is came from that melting ice can now fit into that place where the total ice displaced the water. Okay, okay, the volume of the water which has been created by that melted ice, that original ice, that ice is no more, that is completely melted. Okay, so the volume of that water which has been created by that, ice, is equal to the volume of the sea water that's got displaced by this original ice. Okay, that's got displaced by this originals ice, okay, are the same. But in our question we are not dealing with melting ice. Okay, this is the ice where it is actually exist in somewhere in Arctic or Antarctic region. So this, Arctic or Antarctic regional bird is coming and sitting on it. Okay, so the thing is, because the weather, the climate and all is very chill and cold, this ice doesn't need to melt. Okay, so it's staying like that. So for this ice we cannot match its volume and the volume of the seawater or the water displaced by it. Okay, we cannot match that. Okay, but students, most of the students did that mistake. They matched the volume and they took, 2v out of that equation. So that's where it got wrong. But the answer was correct, but the method was, incorrect. There's a similar question in 1987 past paper. I think the question number is 31 or 34. I'm not sure about that. So if you check that question, if you read that question, if you try to do that question with this incorrect method, like if you take 2v out of it, okay, then you will not get the answer. Okay, if you do with my method, this is not my method, this is the actual method. So if you do with this actual method, then you will find the answer.